The waiting is over. It is a Wednesday, which means we are back racing locally, and that looks to be cast in stone. We're racing on the polytrack of our Greyville course. That is Hollywood Bets Greyville, KwaZulu Natal. Temperatures may be a bit on the lower side nationwide, but we're definitely racing. We're off at 12:30 with the first of our 8 races. And a reminder, you are watching Waited to Win, proudly brought to you by Betway. We're going to be off at 12:30 with the first of our 8 races, which means we get into that bipod, and we have an odds-on favorite back on its favorite surface. In his brief career, seems to be a popular, or at least prefers the polytrack, and that is Mac Dazzler. I've been calling it MC Dazzler rather, but our friend on the line has corrected me, and he's, I'm sure, going to be in the same corner as me. Gary John, a very good morning to you. Once again, good to be working with you.
Good morning, Cecil. Great to be working with you too, and good morning to all the punters. I hope today's going to be a good day out there. It looks like a bit of a favourite card in the beginning, but near the end there seems to be a lot of value to be found.
Yes, indeed, and I think people will be chomping at the bit to get their teeth into local betting. Let's get straight into that first one. I did say that Mac Dazzler rather looks to be a hard horse to beat. You were adamant, and you were proven to be right, that the turf form was nowhere near as good as the poly form. Back on the poly, looks a hard horse to beat.
Yes, Cecil. Mac Dazzler back on the poly. Its 2 runs on the poly were great runs. There were some winners out of it. Captain Marsala, French Flame, Breath of Magic, a few to mention there. But also the horse that beat Run to Rio also came out to run some nice races. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with this form. Back on the poly, obviously its favourite surface. Draw 2. Sean Beals also in very hot form. Only question mark to me is the run coming too soon, which I feel that it's not. I think it's been absolutely lined up and they found the right field for this horse. I'm taking 2 bar pots. I'm taking one with it bankered and then one with 3 horses. I know the one that I've tipped online has got 3 horses just in case. But if you want to bank a Mac Dazzler, go for it. Just talk. I was very suspect of that form line and I was wrong. I mean, 2 winners out that form line, Mapaka and Night Rocker, both easy winners. Galactus is on the improve. And then just to touch on, if you were looking for a bit of value, this horse called Tickerlocks. I know it's coming off quite a bit of a layoff, but I mean, it's earlier form, 4.3 lengths, main defender, 7 lengths, Kupuelo. Also the run to Bristol Hercules. I mean, this horse is 35-1. You never know. It could be the value in the race, but I think Mac Dazzler very hard to beat.
Enough said, Gary John. 24 Rand is the outlay to our bipod, starting with our first at 12:30. We are racing at Hollywood Bets Greyville on this Wednesday. Well, we've got a very important scratching in race number 2, one of the more consistent maidens around, and that win certainly looks to be in the offing sooner rather than later. And it is the charge of Tony Rivlins that is scratched, and that is a Teriyaki. So that leaves us a field of 9 in a race number 2. But remember, you can get in touch with us. What you think of the recent sponsorship of Betway of the PSL. You can tell us about the forthcoming season that embarks here on the Highveld in the next 6 weeks or so. Lots to discuss, and that is via our X handle or our WhatsApp line. All right, let's have a look at race number 2, the 5 Deception Pass. The Aussies are in town and they mean business, and if races are won on paper, they should at least have 2 or 3, and this is one of the better ones, Deception Pass. Shorts at 6-10, 3-1 the 6 turnaround, and of course there has been a lot of adjustment to the betting due to the scratching of Teriyaki. All right, let's take it away, Gary John. Race 2, the first leg of the PA. Only reservation, first time on poly.
Cecil, yes, I'm not too worried about the first time on the poly with Deception Pass. When I looked at its last run, it was a great run to Kaminsky. I mean, it beat Pan in Gold by 5 lengths that ran 3rd in that race, which has really, really nice form. Also, the weakness of this field, I mean, it doesn't have to be... It doesn't have to be too good to beat this field. I see Turnaround is coming off a gelding. I don't know about that form line. I'm very suspect of it. It's also going up to the 1400. I'm not sure what to make of it. I think it might not stay. Everything here points to Deception Pass. I mean, for them to send it down. And also, why would they send it to Cape Town for one run if they never thought much of this horse? So I'm very strong in the camp here at Deception Pass. I know it's 7-10. I won't be backing it at that price, but I definitely think it will win. And I also think Moosey's going to have a big day today, eh?
Muzi certainly started the season on fire, and I think that fire will continue to glow this afternoon at Hollywood Bets Greyville. Thanks so much to Gary John. That is his PA, a very inexpensive outlay of 8 Rand. So this is the time to make hay. And that second race is the second of 8, getting underway at 1:05. All right, so we're moving on to the first leg of the Pick Six, so race number 3, and no such short price favorite in race number 3 as such. But again, it looks like it could be the favorite fighting it out. It's the 2 Burning Man, not in the red, but nearly so, 11-10. Maybe race time it will be in the red. Number 4, Bella's Pablo is at 9-2. Number 8, Intuitive Spirit is at 9-2. 11-2, and Better Those. Be reminded of the scratching the 3, Castle May. All right, it is Betway who sponsor our Wager to Win show. We're going to cross over to Mr. Gary John and give us his thoughts on race number 3. It's a maiden plate over the 1900 meters. Field reduced to just the 9 runners, Mr. Gary John.
Yes, Cecil. Let me just start on Bellows Pablo. Its last run wasn't the worst run. But the key horse over here, I find, obviously, to split Bellows Pablo and Burning Man. I thought it was a coin flip. Now I make it a one-horse race. In its last run, Bellows Pablo, there was a horse called Future Flow that ran third. It only beat it by a length. I know it was on the turf. If you go to Burning Man's second last run, it beat Future Flow, was also in that field, but beat it by 4 lengths. There is one question mark with Burning Man, is the poly track, which I see absolutely no problem in it. I mean, this horse has improved over the distance. It's got Bellows Pablo help. There's nothing really else in the race. Maybe Red Mountain, but I honestly think not even a roadblock will stop Burning Man today.
So that is the banker in the Pick Six. The first leg is off at 20 minutes to 2, and there's a banker at the back end of the Pick Six, and that is the 6 Stroke of Mercy. Don't forget, you can get involved if you're so bullish about today's card. For instance, you can get involved in that million jackpot now accessible on Betway. All you have to do is to tip in the instance of today as of race 1 up to race 8. All the winners of that race, you can nominate one race where you think your selection may finish placed, but not necessarily win. So that is the new initiative on the Betway offsite app, the website. Now let's get to race number 4, the 4 Viva Spirit. That is a scratching in what is a very, very nice mare trade at 86. 2 Pirate Prince, that is a 33-10 go favorite. Now the 7 Zarko, they did meet recently. Number 5 Aberdeen is at 7-2. 6-1 is the 8 Inlamo, it's 13-2, and Better Those. Well, on their last meeting, it is the 2 Pirate Prince who is actually better off by that 7 kg when they ran behind Natiam. Can you elaborate as to how the race is going to unfold?
Cecil, when I look at this race, Pirate Prince is a very versatile horse, which I like. It can run on grass and poly. If this race was run on form, you would have to go with Pirate Prince. I mean, it's run against some really nice horses, Cape Eagle, Down to Business. I mean, there's a run here over the 1900 on the grass to Royal Victory, 0.10. I know Cape Eagle was in there. I still found this race very difficult to read. Like I said, on form, Pirate Prince must be a runner. But, I mean, there's horses to include. I mean, Aberdeen in the weights also, it must have a big, big chance. Also improved on the poly. It ran a cracker. Another horse to speak on is Cupid Song. I've got a feeling Cupid Song is going to reverse the form on Aberdeen. I'm going to put a line through Cupid Song's last run. It was drawn 9 out of 9 and it was dropped out. Now it's going back to the 1900 where it ran to Pas de Norm. It was in front that day. Maybe today we see it in front again. Also 2.5 lengths Lucky Dollar. These are good runs. There's a little bit of value in this horse. Then just also talking about another horse that had really good past form called Indlamu. The only problem with this, it hasn't won in 809 days, which puts me off It was one of my first choices. As you can see, it's run to Command Pilot, Back in Business, Bingwa, Bavarian Beauty, some really nice horses in Joburg. I make this a very open race. If I was to lean towards a horse, it might be Cupid's Song.
A Cupid Song could be the value that currently trading at around a 13-2. That is race 4, leg 1 of Jackpot 1, and it should be off with our top line of merit at 86 at a 2:15. We're now getting into the second half of an 8-race program and how good it feels to be talking local racing. And it is current, it is a polytrack racing, some competitive fields. And no exception is the first leg of the second jackpot. This is a Fillies Mare 65. They're going over the 1900 meters and quite a decent sized field of 11 runners. Now, as far as the betting is concerned, a 4-race number 5. We've got the recent winner, number 4, Linger No More, a very fluent winner of the ball just recently, and that is at 13-5. There's been a nibble at the 1 Doctor's Orders. That's been shortened in a half a point to 9-2 from the 5-1. And then you've got 11-2 about the 3 English Primrose, 13-2 and better, bar those quoted runners. You did say, quite rightly so, at the top of our preview, Mr. Gary John, that it starts off easy, but as we get into the handicaps and as we progress through, we have quite a trappy card, and this is a case in point, race 5.
Yes, so I really battled on this race. Like in my pick sixes, I put Field. In 1 jackpot, I took a chance. It's the type of race where everything is pointing to Linger No More. The way it won last time, it has had 2 runs on the poly. They weren't bad runs. I know the run's coming a bit soon, but I mean, everything is absolutely pointing to this horse. But like, if you look past this horse, every single horse has a chance in this race. Like, just speaking about a horse called Way to Burn, the guy clipped heels quite early in the race when I watched the replay, and then when they turned for home, he still got boxed in, checked. It could have finished a lot closer than that 7.45 lengths to Woodland Glade, I feel. So this should be my clear second choice. First choice, Linger No More. It has to be. And if you're looking for a bit of value, if this horse comes back to its best, shaken, not stirred, it's got nothing wrong. I see it actually beat Doctor's Orders the one day over the 1900 on the poly. It has gone backwards, but I mean, at that price, why not? Maybe it flukes it today, but I'd have to stick with Linger No More. Yeah, the way it won, I was very impressed with it. And against this lot, it should be better than it.
Just to confirm, Gary John, as we look at your selections, that merit rating has gone up 4 points to 69. Hence, that weight has gone up that 2 kg to 62 for this afternoon's race. That's Linger No More, first choice for Gary John in what is a race that he has decided to go the safe route, the field. You're still with us as we preview Wednesday racing coming through from KZN. We're racing at Hollywood Bets at Greyville. Our first local meeting, and we've had to wait until Wednesday due to the intervention of the elements in the Western Cape. We should have been racing yesterday, but that was seen to by the weather. Right, race number 6. First of all, the scratchings are the 2 Galaxy Explorer and the 4 Quick Star. And we have a form update. Again, it concerns a corner speech runner. This time it's the 6 Zumbomba, who certainly is running into some decent form, has been on the poly as well before. Ran a 3rd last time out behind a Full Go, was making it full back-to-back victories, and a Full Go was ahead by that 2.25 lengths. So that is number 6, the Zumbomba, and we're looking at the favorite, another Joburg visitor. It is a Secret Recipe, Muzieni, and Adam and Mike Azzy, that is at 33-10. 6 Zumbomba is at 4-1. 4-1 is the 11 Bally Magic. It's 6-1 and better, bar those quoted runners. While Secret Recipe bumped up that 4-pounder for that last victory, had been in the offing, had run very good races behind Kusa Azul, as well as a sparkling Jubilee, who lined up in that off-to-stud feature a couple of weeks ago. What are we doing here, Gary John?
Cecil, when I first looked at this race, I really, really liked Secret Recipe. But then I got put off very badly. If you look here, it's carrying 61 kilos. It's a mare taking on boys. Normally, these mares carrying top weight against the boys normally actually get beaten 90% of the time, unless they're freaks. Yes, it can win, but it's not going to. My money's definitely not going to be on it because I'm going to stick to the stats. But a mare carrying 61 against against the boys is going to be very, very difficult. Also trying the surface for the first time. Nonetheless, it does have decent Joburg form, but I'm going to be playing to beat it. Talking on Zoom Bomber, it's been ultra consistent on the poly. I know Wave Warrior has it held. My first choice here is Shoefella. I think it should definitely be in the top 3. My only question mark is the 1600 right for it, which I mean it's been over further and it's run perfectly fine, so the 1600 shouldn't be a problem. It's coming off a 79-day rest. It's got a couple runners in this field held. I have to lean towards Shoefella in this race, but yet again another open race. Don't be scared to load in PA and bar pots, because Secret Recipe, there is a possibility of it running off out of the top 3, but I'm not 100% sure because it does have strong Joburg form.
Yes, certainly encouraging your selection, though. You found us a bit of value at 13-2. Has been on over course and distance once, and it was for a second, so everything in its favor. Thank you very much, Gary John. That is race 6, the first leg of the last pick 3. Well, football locally, that should see us get into the league once they've got over the cup that they're currently fighting over. And once that has been decided, then we get into the newly launched Betway PSL, and I can't wait. And of course, that is preceded by the soccer in the UK, Man United Fulham, opening the new season 24-25. That is on Friday. Don't forget, you can get all your betting details as far as the soccer is concerned on the Betway app. Right, let's get into race number 7, our penultimate, and it's a recent maiden winner. Once again from the Azzy stable, number 6, Xanta, who is at 28-10. To Mar del Plata, that is at 9-2. Our numbers are 7, Preemptive Strike rather, and the 8, Night Warrior. It is 5s and better bar those. Now the 5-1 shot, Gary John, I'm breaking a habit, and I'm going to suggest a horse that I need your input on. I think it is in the right race to get back to winning ways, and that's a 5-1 shot, the 3, Music is Life.
Cecil, I 100% agree with you, yeah. I was in between making my value bet Music is Life and Soho Star. Music is Life's form line is really, really good. I mean, this run to the Real Prince, there were some really good horses in this field. Also, just talking about its previous poly run to Hit Him Hard, Sunshine. If this horse comes back to its best, I mean, this should be absolutely no race. Let's talk on Xanthar. Just talking on it, if you look at its second run to Mount Pinatubo, 4 lengths, I see its favourite in this race. If you go to Soho Star's last race, Mount Pinatubo was also in there for 4-length beating. There was a 4-length beating as well between the two. But I mean, Xanthar's 3-1, Soho Star's 8.5-1. So I'd have to lean towards the value there. Like I said, Music is Life. I really like it. And obviously my value bet, Soho Star, also given reason. Last time it was draw 11. It wasn't in the race. The last 2 runs over the 1400, I think, were too far for it. And this form line's really strong, eh? I mean, Field Marshal ran against older horses the other day. It ran a really good race to Tobacconist. And, I mean, if you go back to its previous form, it beat Care Forgot. I mean, Care Forgot also come out to beat older horses. I'm leaning very strong towards number 3 and number 4, but my value bet for the day is Soho Star. But I was in between the 3 and the 4. Yeah, I really like Soho Star in this field. I'd like to see it in front today.
I really wish the Jurgens Governor stable well on Wednesday, well, this afternoon. That is when we get to that penultimate leg of the pick 6, which is also the first leg of the last double. 7-15-2 is what you can get, and as you've certainly found us good value, let's hope it delivers likewise. Okay, so we round off racing in KZN this afternoon with a merit rate at 65. It's over the 1,000 meters, and these races certainly do test your mettle. And if you get the right combination, you are certainly in for a good payout. Let's get straight to the betting, and it's handing over the floor to Mr. Gary John thereafter. Number 1, A Vision of Will. Number 3, Fate of Fortune, and the 7, McCarty. Just underline the openness of the race. Our co-favorites at 9-2. Next best is the 8, Drive By, a last time out winner, 11-2. 6-1, number 10, Alvernia Princess is 7-1, and better bar those. So 9-2 the field, Mr. Gary John. How are we going to catch a quartet in the last?
Cecil, over here, I found it quite an open race. I've taken a massive chance and I made my best bet, Stroke of Mercy. I think its form lines is much stronger than this field. I really like its one run at the Vault to Texas Red, 0.75 lengths. There was Czar Bomber in there, Angel of War, Swing Upon a Star. And if I'm not mistaken, Texas Red beat Mrs. Geriatrics. So, I mean, its form lines there, even its run to Warm Winter Night, it's got very, very strong form. Drive by last time, I thought the 1,000 might have been too sharp for it. I was wrong at one, but I really feel that was a weak field. So for this was 2 and 3 in a row is going to be very hard. I was leaning towards Fate or Fortune. The only thing that scares me, the drop to the 1,000 meters. I'm not sure if it's the right move. I mean, it does have good 1,200 meters form, but the way it runs, I don't know what to expect over the 1,000. I still think it should definitely be right up there. And then also there's a horse here, there's a maiden in this field called King Harry. Always respect these maiden horses when they're running against winners because they're always in the weights. So sometimes they can pop up and people are a bit shocked. So it wouldn't surprise me if it did pop up. But I'll make the best bet for today, Stroke of Mercy. This form line is miles clear. It's way better than this field, in my opinion. It's also got Sean on board, and he's in form. I'd really like to see this win. I've taken a big chance and banking it in everything.
My man, I think that is a good call and is a great value at the 13-2. Let's just confirm it's now 7-1. So not only has the 13-2 gone, it's 7-1. But there has been some interest in the 6 Stroke of Mercy. Right, break a leg. It is race 8, the last off at 20-5 at Hollywood Betscraven.